This is an overview of the mono system and the safety features that are built into the system. You'll see that with the hand training setup that we have, this piece right here is the Monos handboard, which is to be sterilized and left at the facility. And the flex board, the straps, the device, and the distal cap are all part of the kit, which is to be used for the case as well. In addition, we are recommending the use of this type of a probe to be sterilized and available to cases as well. One of the uniquenesses about Monos is the fact that we want an awake patient for the procedure, and the recommendation is also for the use of local anesthesia. So at the entry point and at the exit point, the recommendation is about 2 to 3 Cs of 1% buffered. You can see that the hand markings are as such, the anatomy is very well defined, so the use of these hand markings will ensure that the device is positioned properly and safely. So the two lines are formed by, the first is the entry point, so 2 centimeters back from the distal crease, create a line in line with the radial side of the fourth ray, and then the other line is formed by cutting the pisiform to the top of the fifth metacarpal, cutting that in third, taking the proximal or closed third, and connecting where the thumb meets the skin, creating the cardinal line of Kaplan. So the intersections of those two lines is the exit point. So you can see that our hand has already been marked. So the first step for the Monos case is to use an 11 blade at the entry point just to get through the skin and fascia. Next step is the use of this probe to get in the safe channel of the carpal tunnel. There should be very little resistance with the use of the probe, so the surgeon will take the probe, get under the ligament, search for the exit point, and again there should be very little resistance. The surgeon can feel the underside of the ligament and ensure proper placement. So the probe comes out, and now we are ready for the device. Before the device enters the skin, we will attach the nerve stimulator. You can see that this is a single one-time disposable nerve stimulator that all the facilities will have, and you can see that the red light goes on and it's working. So it's also adjustable. We want to adjust it to 2 milliamps for the Monos procedure. So the nerve stim attaches to the end of the Monos device, and you can see that the tip of the Monos device, as well as the window where the saw is to be exposed, will carry charge. Then when this is ground in the thenar muscle, when the device enters the skin, completes the charge, and the Monos device will carry the charge. During a case, nothing should happen with the use of the nerve stimulation. It is an additional safety feature whereby if the device was not positioned properly, the patient would feel something and/or they would have a motor response with the nerve stimulator. You can see that the Monos device itself is totally blunt. Nothing sharp is exposed when it's in this current state. So now the surgeon is ready to insert again at the entry point, and the surgeon will advance underneath the ligament and again search for the exit point. Now is an appropriate time for the awake patient to provide some feedback. So the straps for the thumb as well as the fingers are loosened, and the patient can freely move all fingers with full opposition with the thumb. This ensures correct device placement. Fingers are strapped back in as well as the thumb. At this time, we're now ready to advance the Monos device, so the surgeon will deploy using the thumb. You can see the tip will poke out of the palm, and the sharp is capped for safety. At this time, we're ready for the release. So the recommended technique is to have the surgeon choke up a little bit on the device using index finger up on the wire, and then use index and middle finger of the free hand to apply pressure over the ligament. It's a unidirectional saw, so when the surgeon pulls back towards himself, the saw will engage the ligament and you will hear a distinct gritty sound. We recommend that the surgeon reach for the distal aspect, and then the median aspect, and then lastly the proximal aspect of the ligament. So usually takes about 10 passes, and when the surgeon is confident and he can feel the Manos device a little bit tent up through the skin, then ligaments be released, cap comes off, device is retracted, and then the probe is used to go back and confirm complete release of the ligament, and you will clearly see the probe tent up in the skin to ensure a complete release. Last step is recommendation to apply pressure for about 3 minutes at the entry and exit point, and then closure with dermabond and band-aids.